Hello, I'm Pamela Spence, medical herbalist. I'm just popping in today to talk about something that's been coming up a lot in clinic this morning. So I've just finished a full clinic and checked in with some of my patients. And one of the themes coming up today has been that as we are getting used to the lockdown situation, um, a lot of people are finding that some old chronic health complaints that they have battled in the past are starting to creep in again. And it's things that sometimes we haven't seen for years and years. So one patient talked about the fact that her rosacea had flared up and was particularly bad. Another patient is finding that their insomnia is starting to creep back in a bit. So all these kind of stress related conditions that tend to be worse or to be triggered when we are under a lot of stress, I have really noticed cropping up today. And I just wanted to say that it's kind of completely expected in a way, because no matter where we are at the moment in the world, we are under extra stress. And we're not sure about what the future is going to bring. We're not sure, often people aren't sure about where their income's going to come from, what the world is going to look like in a few more months, how long it's going to be before they can see their loved ones, and particularly people who maybe don't live in the same country as their family. And so it stands to reason that even if we don't feel this as anxiety or what we might think of as classic stress, because suddenly we maybe have more time on our hands, that actually the body processes that are going on right now are ones of heightened stress. So for some people that is going to manifest itself in anxiety. It depends on your constitutional type. And if there's interest, I can certainly do some films around finding what your constitutional type might be. But just say for the moment that every body is different and we have different patterns running through the body. And some of us will end up with a bit more irritable bowel syndrome, for example, under stress. Some of us will feel anxious and stressed. Some of us will feel completely calm, but our blood pressure might start to rise. And these are all signs that the body is managing stress in the background. It's important to understand that the body doesn't really know the difference between you imagining a scenario and you actually being in the scenario. So if you are constantly thinking through, worrying what it might be like to have this COVID-19 virus, or being concerned about family members who aren't with you, or thinking about your income in the future, for example, the cascades, the chemical cascades that happen in your body in terms of pumping out adrenaline and cortisol and all these fight, flight or freeze chemicals is the same. Might not be in as much, but chronically as a drip effect, they're the same chemicals going out into the body. And what that means is that the body is not as able to keep some situations under control as it normally is. So for example, if you still have a little bit of IBS there, but actually it's fairly settled at the moment, when the body's dealing with the extra adrenaline and cortisol and those stress hormones, then those symptoms may flare up again. Rosacea may flare up again. You see where I'm getting at. So rather than running after all those different chronic conditions and trying to find fixes for them, my suggestion to you would be try to reduce the underlying stress levels. Now, we can't do anything about lockdown. We can't do anything right now about the COVID-19 virus. But what we can do is we can start to dial down our body's stress responses. And how do we do this? Well, in two ways. One of them is we take away the things that are causing the stress responses to happen even more. So that would be, for example, caffeine, because we know that drinking caffeine is a little bit like poking your adrenal glands with a knitting needle, I always say. They don't like it. It makes them pump out more adrenaline, and that doesn't help the situation. So we could reduce our levels of caffeine. We could pick decaffeinated teas, for example, or decaffeinated coffee, for example, or just, reduce the number of those hot drinks that we have. We could try our very best not to binge on sugar. So we all know that sugar will give you an instant increase of energy, but then a crash afterwards. And with that crash, often our mood can crash as well. And that can feed into the stress and anxiety cycle. So keeping our mood balanced would be a good way forward as well. So there's the taking away of the things that are not helping. And then there's putting in things that actively can help. Now, as a herbalist, it's not going to be a surprise to you that I'm going to suggest some herbs that you put in there instead. I'm the herbalist who works with Twinings International across all the markets around the world to help them create their functional blends. So I bang on about this all the time. If you're in the UK, the super blends, Twinings super blends are my babies. If you're in the States, the wellness blends. So what that's about, and there's lots of other brands, not just Twinings, and I should say that I don't get any financial recompense if you go out and buy Twinings, so feel free to choose another brand, and there are other good ones out there. But the point of those kind of herbal drinks is that they are feeding to you a solution to the problem. That's the idea behind them, right? So instead of having a coffee with caffeine in it, you could either take the decaffeinated version, and there are question marks around how healthy those are, but essentially take the caffeine out, but you could also replace that hot drink with a hot drink that will work hard for you. And that's where these herbal blends come into their own, really. So you could pick something with a name like Relax or Calm. You could just pick some chamomile tea, for example. We know that chamomile reduces the feelings of anxiety and stress. It can also help you to sleep. You could pick a tea before bedtime, like something with valerian in it, or passiflora. Any of the blends out there, and there are many, that are named sleepy time tea. So getting into the way of drinking that before you go to bed, so that not only are you removing the caffeine, but you're also positively putting in there herbs like valerian, passiflora, chamomilla that will enhance your ability to sleep. During the day, you could reach for herbs like orange blossom. You could take infusions that have rose in them, things like that. So thinking smart about making your hot drink breaks work for you, or indeed taking some of the herbal tea bags, and you can, especially the nice fruit ones, putting them in sparkling water is a great way to infuse them as well. Trying to avoid the caffeine, trying to avoid the sugar, and actually just acknowledging that the way we're living at the moment is not normal, and almost to have no response to that abnormality of life right now is a bit strange in itself. Underneath, we are all coping with change, and even though that might not make you feel anxious, coping with change is a stress to your body. We know that because the body has a tough time sometimes changing from one season to another. We've done a season change recently. Winter into spring often ends up with a lot of coughs, colds. Hay fever season is upon us at the moment. So really, I just wanted to reach out and say to everyone who's feeling a bit wobbled, it's perfectly normal. There are things that you can do, and that I hope that wherever you are, you have the resources to do that. And please feel free to drop some questions for me if you have specific questions below the video. And if you're watching this on YouTube, to click the little thumbs up and subscribe. Thank you so much. Take care.